Ninjas. I'm super excited today to show you guys a pretty cool move. It's a new choke that I've been working on for a while. It's called the Gemini choke, and we're gonna get to that choke in a few minutes. But we're gonna break down this video today into 3 parts, and each part I'm gonna show some pretty cool little back attacks. The first thing I wanna show you guys is the typical seatbelt position is kind of like this, right? And it's an awesome position because that affords you the opportunity to control their back and stay connected to their body, which is super important when you have the back. The only change that I like to make on this is that when I'm in this position, I can't really threat with the choke just yet. But if I flip my hands over and I grab onto my thumb and the shoulder, this puts you in what I call the baby restraint position, which, by the way, I covered in a lot of detail in my Flow Jitsu series, so be sure to check that out for the details on this position. But here's the gist of it right here. I can create a lot of pressure against his neck by pulling my elbow back and driving into his body. But we're gonna transition out of this position now. As I drop back, I'm gonna give him a little bump, and then I'm gonna key lock my leg under his leg. And I wanna create pressure on his neck as I'm doing this. Now from here, I'm gonna take my right hand, and I'm gonna drive it behind his head. And I can start pushing against my own wrist here to create some pressure right there. Yeah, there's a little bit of a choke in there. Now watch, I'm gonna take my left hand out and bring it around the back of his head, turn my hand towards me, and this is gonna put me right in this beautiful twister a la Eddie Bravo. And thank you, Eddie Bravo. Eddie Bravo is an amazing martial artist, and I love his high level of creativity. So from here, boom, we get that twister. So going back again, from the back, typical seatbelt, we flip it over into our baby restraint. And we're keeping this nice and tight and consuming all that space. As I drop to the left here, I'm gonna give him a little bump, and then I'm gonna key lock my legs. My right hand goes behind that head, and I start pushing against my wrist, okay? That's gonna make him start sliding to his back. I bring my arm around, lock my hands together, and I wanna pull against his head as I pull my legs back. Now with spine locks, they're super dangerous, so you gotta be super careful with this, and also make sure that, these are okay in your academy as well, because they tend to be dangerous locks, so, go into them real slow. So one more time here. From the back position, I got my seatbelt on. I'm gonna flip it over into my baby restraint, and I'm gonna keep this nice and tight. As I drop to my left, I give him a little kick, and then key lock. And I wanna start creating pressure on that neck. I want him to feel that threat of that choke right now. My right hand is gonna drive behind his head and push against my wrist. As he starts to slide his body, my other arm comes around and replaces it. And I'm gonna grab my hands together, and I'm gonna pull as I push. And that's a twister.